Okay, so I just actually just got back from the gym. This is actually my day 2 training. Like I said, I don't really plan on doing a video blog every day, but I thought it'd be kind of cool to just do a quick blog about schedules and resources and training. I think I see a lot of people. We're not all professional athletes or aspiring professional athletes or hardcore amateur athletes. Most of us are working people with jobs and families and friends and things to do. And I see a lot of people get discouraged by the fact that they feel like they don't have enough time to really train and to do stuff, and they don't have the resources, and they're tired, and all that kind of stuff. And so I just thought I'd make a quick blog about it because I'm training for this Tough Mudder, and my business is sports performance, biomechanics and sports assessment, stuff like that. But I have very little time myself. I'm just like the average person in terms of my schedule. I run a small company. There's only a handful of us, and we all do lots of different things. So, a typical day, 7 days a week really, is a 10, 12-hour day, and then there's those days where we push it to 15 or more. The advantage I have is that I can pick and choose how I want those hours to come out. I can get up real early and then take time in the morning to, say, go for a run, do a workout in the afternoon, and then, stay up later to work. But those hours still have to get done in the day. And I also have a daughter, and she happens to live 2.5 hours away. So I spend a lot of time in the car, not only for business, but driving back and forth to her for sporting events, school events, homework, you name it. So I have a rough schedule just like everybody else. I think the key is do what you can, but the key to doing what you can and getting something out of it really boils down to knowing what is going to make the biggest impact on your performance. So there's lots of things to do, but there's key things that have the most significant impact on your performance. In other words, you get your most bang for your buck. If you have limited time and limited resources, there are key things that you should be doing to get the most out, and then the other stuff, do the best that you can. I'm not going to go into all of what that is now, but as I progress through this blog, I'm going to try to talk about fundamental biomechanical skills. When I talk about function in this blog, I'm not talking about function the way you see the functional gurus talking about it. I'm not talking about exercises that are quote unquote necessarily the functional type exercises. I'm talking about some very core basic biomechanical skills that are the basis for performance in virtually all of the activity specific coordinations or activity specific motions or skill sets that you're going to need. So in other words, there's some fundamental basic core biomechanical foundations to activity specific performance. Not just general fitness, but activity specific performance. And that simple stuff like climbing and running, more complicated actions like throwing and swinging. They're all based on a few key biomechanical principles. If you know what these are and you know how to incorporate that information into your training, you can do the minimal amount of training and get the maximal amount of benefit. Then if you can add in all the extras, great. Same thing with nutrition. Do the best you can, eat the best you can, but you're not going to always have the time or the resources to cook all your meals perfectly, to get all organic, all the best ingredients, all that kind of stuff. We live a very, very hectic life in this society, and it's tough to do that. So you have to know, where am I going to get the best bang for my buck, even in nutrition. Certain key aspects of nutrition, balancing fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, obviously the type of carbohydrates, the way you eat your meals, the level of protein you're getting based, some key things. And then if you can do more, great. But if you do some key things, you're going to see huge advancement. When you do all the extras, you see a little bit of advancement, but that's that small, nitpicky kind of stuff. So the idea with the training, I'll give you an example this week. This week I'm cramming all of my training into Monday through Friday, or essentially Monday through Thursday, with a little bit left over on Friday morning because it's a long weekend. I have to drive down to New Jersey on Thursday for my daughter's soccer game, so that takes up a big chunk of the day. I really can't train the way I'd like to. Friday I go down to get her from school. We have activities Friday afterwards. We have a soccer game Sunday morning. Saturday morning. Then we drive back and we have a long weekend with lots of stuff planned, and she doesn't go back to school until Wednesday. So all that time, my schedule for training is going to be very limited. So I'm going to essentially have a solid 4 days off from hardcore training. In the middle of that, though, I'm going to do some kettlebell intervals. I'm going to do a little bit of running with her, and we're going to go out, we do our running or we do our cycling or whatever, and she rides, I run, whatever it might be. It won't be the hardcore training I'd like to be doing, but I'm going to get something done, and I'm going to pick the things that I do to have the most impact towards my goal and not worry that I can't do everything. So I just wanted to make a quick kind of blog about that, don't be discouraged by a lack of time and a lack of resources. If you do some key stuff, you're going to see maximum benefit. There's a few key things you can do in nutrition, and there's a few key things you can do in training that are going to get you a lot of gains in your performance, in your activity-specific performance. And if you focus on those kinds of things, even if you have limited time and resources, you're going to have success with your training, and you're going to feel good about it. And then when you can add in the extras, great. And as I move through this blog, I'm going to talk about what those key fundamental things are in terms of the training. We'll talk a little bit about nutrition. Nutrition is not really my forte, but the biomechanics is, and that's where we're going to really focus on. When you're doing basic exercise, a push-up can be an extremely functional exercise if it's done with the right mindset and if it's done the right way. And we're going to talk about all that stuff as I move along on this blog, and then obviously after the mutter, because I'm going to keep doing this. But anyway, don't be discouraged by a lack of time and resources. Do what you can, but not just anything. Do the right stuff. Do the key fundamental stuff, because that's where you're going to get the most gains, the most bang for your buck. And I'll try to do my best to talk about that stuff as we move forward.